We're taking it back to the South with this one, Atlanta, Georgia to be exact. Two of the most iconic Southern rappers, despite one of them not being from Atlanta, although he did start his career there and reps it proudly. Christopher Brian Bridges, aka Ludacris, was born in Illinois and moved to Atlanta as a teenager, where he got his start working at a radio station using the name Chris Luvva Luvva. Then in 1998, he formed the independent record label Disturbing the Peace, or DTP, and then went on to release his debut album Incognegro in 1999 and was signed to newly formed Def Jam South by Scarface from the Ghetto Boys. They then re-released the album with some changes, including a new name, Back for the First Time, which is a reference to the album being re-released, and he began his hit-making run. Clifford Joseph Harris Jr., aka T.I, was born in Atlanta and got his start when he was releasing mixtapes alongside fellow Atlanta rapper Big Country King, who later on was a member of the group Pimp Squad Clique, or PSC, along with T.I and others. T.I was signed to record executive KP's Ghetto Vision Entertainment and then to LaFace Records, founded by Babyface and L.A. Reid. Reid was eventually named the president of Arista Records, which was the label that co-founded and was the distributor for LaFace Records, which led to T.I being signed directly to Arista and releasing his debut album I'm Serious in 2001. The album wasn't too well received, and he wound up leaving Arista and signing to Atlantic Records and forming his own label, Grand Hustle Records, as well in 2003. Also that year, he released his second album, Trap Music, which performed much better and, like Luda, started his own stream of hits. The first shot between the two on Wax is actually something that's pretty different. The two took aim at one another on the same song. That song being Stomp, from Young Buck's major record label solo debut album Straight Outta Cashville, released in August 2004. T.I and Ludacris were both originally featured on the song, but T.I wound up being replaced with a verse by The Game on the album version. On T.I.'s verse, he has the lines, "Real niggas see the difference between you and this. Me getting beat down, that's Ludacris. My name rang from the street to Spain to Mechanicsville, nigga. All you getting is Rodney Dangerfield, no respect. I'm a vet, you could bet that." The "me getting beat down, that's Ludacris" line was seen as a reference to Ludacris, and the beatdown is a reference to the music video for the song Fightin' in the Club by fellow Disturbing the Peace artist I-20. In the music video, someone had on a shirt with the word trap on it, and he was getting pushed and got into a fight in the video as the song is about. Apparently, T.I took offense to it as he thought it was a reference to his second album, Trap Music, released in August 2003. The Rodney Dangerfield line is a reference to Rodney's comedy album No Respect, which you could say is T.I saying he has no respect for Luda at that point. Ludacris heard T.I.'s verse when he went to record his own and responded to him directly on the track. Ludacris has the lines, "These rappers think I'm ignorant, love saying my name, cause maintaining my fish tank and a house costs the same," which is him responding to T.I.'s wordplay using Luda's name. He then finishes his verse with the lines, "My deals never get screwed, my contracts practice abstinence. I'm master in this program, hazing these undergraduates. So pimpin' be easy, quit catching feelings, cause you worth a couple $100,000, and I'm worth millions. Nobody's thinking about you, plus your beef ain't legit. So please stay off the TIP of my dick." Be Easy is one of the singles from the Trap Music album, so that would seem to be a clear reference to T.I, and the couple $100,000 might be a reference to T.I.'s label Grand Hustle, which he had recently formed. The TIP line, of course, is a play on T.I.'s name, as his original rap name was TIP, but he shortened it to T.I out of respect for his Arista label mate Q-Tip from A Tribe Called Quest. T.I.'s record label wanted Ludacris to change his verse, but he refused, so T.I.'s verse was taken off the song and replaced with the verse by The Game. On a Rap City freestyle that T.I did sometime around the release of Trap Music, he sent a shot at Ludacris and DTP with the lines, "Let it be known the city mine, shorty. I got a squad. They just cool cause they riding with you. You lose it all tomorrow, would they still ride with you? You better ask yourself unless you wanna die, killer. I ain't gonna lie, tigger. These rappers don't really deserve to beef, but keep running your teeth, I'ma come and disturb your peace. This would appear to be a response to the I-20 video that T.I took as a diss, as the Fightin' in the Club song was released in 2003, the same year that T.I released his trap music album. The Fightin' in the Club song also features Lil Fate, 2 Chainz, who went by the name Titty Boy at that time, and Chingy. All of them were also signed to Disturbing the Peace at some point, which makes it seem quite likely that T.I was sending a shot at the whole group with those lines. In 2004, Ludacris released his 4th album, Red Light District, and on that album is the track Who Not Me featuring Small World and Dollar Boy, which appears to be aimed at somebody. Ludacris doesn't name T.I by name here or anything, but on the intro they make a mention of hearing someone say something but not knowing if it was directed at them or not, which of course ties in with the name of the song as well as the chorus. On Luda's verse he has the lines, Ludacris nigga, I stand and deliver, never back down, won't shake nor shiver, fuck with me and get found in a Chattahoochee River, this 7-inch shank will put a stop to his ticker, but shotty to the body makes him drop much quicker, yeah I appear to be a nice little nigga, fuck with anything I love and I'm a stone cold killer. Now this might be a general statement or directed at someone else, but considering at the time he was in the middle of his beef with T.I, some could say that this was directed at him. You listen to the song though and decide for yourself. T.I and Ludacris weren't the only rappers feuding in the South at this time. T.I was also beefing with Texas rapper Lil Flip, and Young Jeezy and Gucci Mane were beefing with each other as well. Both of those I've covered on the channel previously, so check those out too. In March 2006, T.I released his 4th album, King, which features hit singles like What You Know and Why You Wanna, both of which being among my favorite T.I songs of all time. On the album, T.I mentions Ludacris on the songs Told You So and I'm Talking to You. On the chorus of Told You So, T.I mentions Atlanta rappers like Outkast and Ludacris. It's not in a negative light, however, as he mentions Ludacris selling records, so it would seem at least that things had calmed down a bit. On I'm Talking to You, T.I is dissing another rapper, but he doesn't name who directly. Instead, he mentions a bunch of rappers that he isn't talking about, which leads us to guess who he's aiming at. On the 3rd verse, he has the lines, had it out with Chris, but he's still my niggas, sat down, civilized, talk about it like niggas, so I ain't never been served, get your facts right nigga. This would appear to be a response to Lil Flip from the song They Call Me FLIP, which was a diss track aimed at T.I. On that track, he has the lines, you told Atlantic not to clear that verse you did for Buck cause Ludacris murdered your ass, niggas know you but. If you take that into consideration, it would appear that the diss track was aimed at Lil Flip. Some months later, in September 2006, Ludacris released his 6th album, Release Therapy, and on that album is the track War with God, which is aimed at an unnamed rapper, once again believed by many to be T.I. He makes several references which allude to this track being aimed at T.I. On the 1st verse, Luda has the lines, I never claimed to be nothing but who the fuck I am. Never sold cocaine in my life, but I'm still the fucking man. Understand, nothing you did makes you better, nigga. You claim the streets, but the streets respect that cheddar, nigga. T.I was, of course, well known for rapping about trapping at this point, with albums like Trap Music. He then has the lines, so you could say what you wanna say and you could talk that talk, but real niggas ain't doing no talking cause we walk that walk. Album for album, you can see I got a multi-million plan, so call yourself whatever you want except a multi-million man. Which is a reference to the fact that Ludacris at this point had multiple multi-platinum albums and T.I albums had only gone gold or solely platinum. Then on the 2nd verse, he appears to take a shot at T.I again for his raps about shooting guns with the lines, how many times is you gonna rap about busting your gun? How many times is you gonna trap without busting your gun? Only shots you ever took were subliminal to the general, disrespecting those doing real time with real criminals. Once again, T.I was known for rapping about the trap house life. Then he ends the verse with the lines, I hear you talking, but you ain't made it to 3. You know where I live, but you ain't made it to me. You ain't made, nigga. I'm having a house party, kid. Come get played. Nigga, you got played. My record label never jerked me, so shoot me, stab me, but words will never hurt me. I feed off your energy. My power's with God. So it's even better if you make your diss record real hard. Here he calls T.I.'s bluff basically by saying that he never made it to 3, as the count of 3 is typically when someone will do what they say they will, and he also mentions T.I. knowing where he lives, which isn't too far-fetched as they both lived in Atlanta and certainly know some of the same people. The House Party line is a reference to the popular film series House Party, starring rappers Kid and Play. A few months later, in February 2007, were the 49th Annual Grammy Awards, and the nominees for Best Rap Album were Release Therapy by Ludacris, Lupe Fiasco's Food and Liquor by Lupe Fiasco, In My Mind by Pharrell, Game Theory by The Roots, and King by T.I., in which Ludacris was the winner. T.I. had an interview later on in which he spoke about how he deserved a Grammy win for his album and that even Ludacris would agree. However, they were reportedly seen getting along during the Grammys when Luda won Best Rap Album. Then on June 24th, 2007, during an event in a Hollywood, California hotel hosted by record executive Kevin Liles, T.I. and Ludacris's manager Shaka Zulu got into a physical altercation, so clearly there would still be some level of tension between the parties. Later that week during the BET Awards, T.I. issued an apology to Shaka for the fight. Later on that year, Ludacris did a freestyle to the beat for the 50 Cent hit single I Get Money from his third album, Curtis. On the freestyle, Luda has the lines, "If Luda's on your record, it will never be the same, cause Luda makes hits, other rappers make claims. I cut the braids off, but ain't a damn thing changed. Let's get one thing clear, the South's right here, still got the Grammy for the Album of the Year." Which is a shot at T.I. being a fellow Southern rapper and him winning the Grammy over T.I., who claimed that he should have won it over Luda. He also mentions T.I.'s apology to Shaka with the line, "And ain't no need for apologies, sorry is as sorry does." So clearly, this was aimed at T.I. Then early in 2008, a remix to the Rocco song, "I'ma Do Me," was released featuring Rick Ross, Jeezy, and T.I. T.I. sends another shot at Ludacris at the end of his verse with the lines, "Money you say you get 30 mil in 6 years? Listen, Forbes put me down for 20, that was this year. And let's get this clear, just between you and me, that apology was for BET, not for DTP. I'm doing me." Remember on tracks like Stomp and Who Not Me, Luda mentioned making millions of dollars, and of course the apology is a reference to the altercation with Luda's manager. So T.I. made it pretty clear that he is apologizing to BET, but not to DTP, for the incident with them. Not long after this, however, it seems as though they truly did squash the beef this time as they started to do songs together. On T.I.'s 6th album, Paper Trail, released in September 2008, Ludacris is featured on the song On Top of the World along with B.O.B. Then on Luda's 7th album, Theater of the Mind, released in November that year, T.I. is featured on the first single, I Wish You Would, which was released in September, making it the first released collaboration song between the two. Then in 2012, the two appeared on DJ Drama's 4th album, Quality Street Music, on the single We In This Bitch, alongside Jeezy and Future. And again in 2012 on Big Boy's 2nd solo album, Vicious Lies and Dangerous Rumors, on the track In the A. In February 2024, Ludacris appeared on the Drink Champs podcast and was asked about his beef with T.I. Ludacris stated that it started because he heard subliminal shots coming from T.I., and so he basically decided to respond to him.
So what actually happened with you and T.I. at that time?
It was from my perspective, it was always a little subliminals, and I just heard subliminals, and I'm extremely competitive, so I'm always with the subliminals. So when he would jab, I would just jab right back in records. But nah, just competition, man. And it's crazy because again, in retrospect, we were actually on a flight together, on a plane. We went to George Floyd's funeral services together. God bless. Will Packer put a bunch of people together on this plane, and so we literally were on there talking for 2-3 hours of everything, the whole history. And, I just told him to his face, was like, brother, I never start any fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? I come from a world where I mind my own fucking business. This is what Ludacris does. Right. I hear people talk stuff, and people take jabs, and people take shots. And then, I decide whether or not I want to send the shots back. But at the end of the day, I don't start shit. I finish it.
Right.
That's what I do.
Right.
So we on this plane, man, talking about the history of all the shit that we've been through. Like, and it's like we sat back and laughed at the end of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, that about wraps up the beef between these two iconic Atlanta rappers. It's funny, they kinda have similar careers. They started around the same time, and they even both had an acting stint. Difference with Luda though is that he kept on acting and focused much less on releasing music while T.I. continued to put out music. Their music was a part of my childhood, and I even considered T.I. one of my favorite rappers back around the time of his Urban Legend and King albums. Luckily, we can say that this is yet another beef that outside of the physical altercation at the hotel, things seem to have been kept on wax pretty much. What are your thoughts on the beef? Who came out on top? Which artist is your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to click that thumbs up button to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord server if you want to kick it with me and other like-minded individuals, and of course, consider becoming a patron or a YouTube channel member to help support the channel further. It's truly appreciated.